That's in it's Indonesia. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So in the Oceania region.
Oceania.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to be safe, most of the climbers just climb both mountains because as a climber you love climbing. So
Sure.
why wouldn't you do that, right? We were a team. We didn't have all the funds. If we had fun, like would love to go climb. So someday we might, but we didn't pursue Carson's Pyramid at the time.
So I would think the one in Antarctica would be the most logistically challenging.
Yeah. And after Everest, logistically challenging and expensive. There are operators. I think there are 5 or 6 operators that have permission to run these expeditions there.
Right.
So
what all do you fly down to Chile and
yeah, you
go
fly to the southern tip of Chile, and from there. So I didn't go to Antarctica because we didn't have enough funds. It cost like I want to say $50,000 a person to climb that mountain, so we didn't have enough funds.
Is that right?
Yeah. And so we didn't have enough funds, so some of us volunteered not to go. And that's actually another frequently asked question. People ask me, like, was it hard? I'm like, no, it's one of the easiest decisions I took because we're all here for the team. So there are 4 team members that went for this. So you go to southern tip of Chile, and then there's this Second World War Russian aircraft called Elysium. So the operators will put you in that. You fly to Antarctica, and then you take a smaller aircraft that takes you kind of inland, closer to the mountain. So just those flights itself is like insanely expensive, and they'll provide you support for 2 weeks. They'll provide you guide, food, tent, accommodation, stuff. So it's very expensive.
I can't imagine spending $50,000 to.
Yeah, so it was like the funny thing about it is like imagine this is the 7th climb, okay? This is the last climb, and 3 of us have given up our spots, right? Being the good friends in the team and all. Right. And we paid like close to $50,000 for all of this, and it is a 2-week expedition. And my friends left, I think, on the 19th of December. And I remember, I want to say 24th of December at 8 in the morning, I'm still sleeping, in my bed because now I don't have to train. I don't have my team, so I'm just sulking. And I get a call from one of my teammates' husband, and he's like, "Did you get the news?" And I said, "No." And he said, "They did it." I was like, "Why? We paid for 2 weeks worth. They've been gone for like 6 days or something." Like, come on.
We want our money's worth.
Yeah, the least they could do is like have 2 weeks of experience on all our behalf. So I was like, my first reaction when we finished all the 7 summits as a team was of disappointment.
Oh, that's too bad.
So what have been some of the more challenging decisions you've had to make in all of these summit attempts, deciding, how to sequence these mountains? I mean, tell me about some of the difficult decisions you've had to make.
The first decision was not difficult, but big decision was just a decision to climb Everest. And I think there are different ways of arriving at making decisions, right? So I think what worked for me at that time was just this clarity that I want to see what my body can do. Like, that's all I had.
I had a test, right? A test, a challenge.
Yeah, and I was very clear, and I was actively seeking avenues. Like, I had gone for the first time to kayaking, rafting, I did bungee jumping, all of those scared, scared and scarred me, but I just had this big appetite where no matter how scared I am, I have to try to see what a human body can do. That was my fascination. So when this opportunity to climb Everest came up, I did not fit the bill in any way. I am this petite, young, Nepali woman with no sports background, athletic background. I was probably not fit or whatever. I was just young and I had time to work on myself, which obviously you discover later. So just that having that clarity of what you want to do with your maybe time or life at that moment, that helped me make this decision. So that was not hard, but it was definitely a big decision, and I just jumped at it. So, and that has redefined my life, given me my identity. it's a big one. It's one of the biggest decisions ever. And then there are a lot of other small and big moments, even during the first expedition itself. Constantly when you don't have the funds, and our real discussion in our office would be, if we don't have the money, how are we going to do this, or who's going to give up their spot? So to kind of hold on in the face of that was challenging. But again, the same clarity that maybe if we work hard enough, we'll get past these hurdles helped. And those kind of situations were helped by the bonding we had in the team a lot. So there are moments when you doubt yourself, the moments when you're not sure if you'll have the funds, or if you have the physical strength, or if the nature will hold up. There are so many moments where you can lose confidence, and that and there are people who signed up for our team and later quit. There are people who did that. So what helped me stick through the whole thing was definitely the team bonding that we had. Everybody who lasted in the team was there for the same reason, and we believed in building each other up rather than thinking otherwise. So that kind of happened organically, where whenever I had doubts, my decisions were kind of just I don't know, strengthened by the team spirit. I could go on and on about this. And the 7 Summit was, if you want honest answer, on December 31st, 2008. We had a big New Year's Eve party, and we were like, 2008 is the best year in our life because we climbed Everest. And we're like, but then today is the last day. We can say it's 2008. So what can we do to make other years special as well? So 1st January 2009, still hungover, we're like, we're going to climb 7 Summits. So just, being young and stupid helps that decision making.
Well, it worked out, it worked out. It turned out to be a good decision.
Yeah.
Any big decisions that didn't work out?
Many.
Yeah?
Many.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. A lot of things. We wanted to try different approaches of going about this. We wanted to, make this bigger and grow it to its full potential. Fundraising was always a challenge, and we'd put our faith on XYZ, and that won't work. There was one moment where I got a text from a very influential person saying that they were going to support us with roughly, let's say, $10,000 US. And we're trying to cross a street, and there's 7 of us, right? So 3 of my girls are on the other side of the street, and 4 of us are here. And just from across the street, I showed them 10 fingers in my hand, and we all understood we got 10 grand, and we danced on the middle of the street. And when the money actually came, it was $5,000.
Oh, jeez.
And those things happened a lot.
Yeah.
So the saying in my team now is I'm not gonna believe it until I'm in that flight.
Yeah.
So we don't. Yeah. We know how to kind of manage our expectations now. Yeah.
I would imagine that there's a lot of decisions you've got to make in the moment when you're climbing, right? And I've never done anything nearly as significant as Everest, even close. But in any physical endeavor, you've got tons of decisions. When do I eat? When do I rest? When do I drink water? When do I keep going? When do I push a little bit harder, even though I kind of want to slow down? How conscious was your decision making in the moment when you were climbing? Not just Everest, but all of the, Aconcagua has got to be challenging. Denali is very significant. I'm not super familiar with Elbrus, but that's a multi-day hike as well. What was it like?
So, first of all, I have not been on the 7 summits, all the 7 summits. Aconcagua, I had to turn around. I I had a frost nip, and then one of my friends also had issues, so some of us turned around for like health reasons. And then 2 other mountains for logistic, financial reasons. I wasn't part of the climbing team, but as a team, we made it, and that was always our goal. So that's there. These things that you're talking about, I call them, like, these are the given. Like, you have to drink at least 3 to possibly 5 liters of water every single day. Once you're above 10,000 feet, you want to avoid dairy if you have problem with mucus and stuff. Like, so there's a bunch of these things. You try not to run unnecessarily. You got to be fast when you have to save your life or something, but otherwise you go slow and steady. So there are certain rules which need to be given, and my team has always been religious about it. And whenever we're preparing for a climb, then we wouldn't drink. Nobody in my team smokes. We'd be very clean and very trained, like, well and all. And then after we make it to one summit, then we come down and we party and we, get drunk, whatever. But there's a discipline, and it should be, yeah, as pious as, I don't know, religion to you. But we see people, because we've also been guiding people to, base camps and other treks, and we've had to kind of try all sorts of tricks, like play the good cop, bad cop, just so people would drink like 3 liters of water. And they seem to have the mindset that I'm going to make it to the base camp, but the action steps are missing. And with a strong mindset, they're able to make it there. But when they get there, they're miserable. They can't enjoy. They're coughing. They're sick. And they've made it so much harder for the person and for the team they're with. So, I don't even probably look at these things as making decision. It's like when I signed up to be on this trek or be on the climb, that's when I made the decision. And all these subset of things are a given. These are non-negotiables. You don't mess with these. So maybe you can say hard skill, soft skill, right? You want to be a climber, you got to be fit. You need to know your ropes. You need to have enough resources. Yeah, those are like, those shouldn't be big decision making. That's probably what I'm trying to say. And after that, then there are situations when you're tested. Like I had a little frost nip on Aconcagua. The Argentine guides, they were like, why did you turn around? You could have made it. And I probably could have made it. My friends who made it did tell me that I would have made it. But the fact is, when I came back for 1 whole month, this thumb that had that frost nip, every time I stood on shower and like had warm water, it'll be almost like a current electricity going from the tip of my thumb all the way like up my throat and all. And nobody else can see that, right? I look perfectly fit and fine to other people looking at me, but I know what's going on. And so I know that if I had spent maybe more time on that mountain that day, maybe I wouldn't have my thumb today. Yeah. So that was a hard decision to make because we'd spent so much money, time, energy. There's this, big media publicity around our climb and all, and we'd always been 100% success in all mountains before that. And here, I couldn't make it. A couple other friends had to turn around, so it was hard. We cried on the mountain.
How'd you get the frostbite on your thumb?
Just
what happened?
The gloves. The gloves weren't good enough.
Last time you used those gloves, I'm guessing.
No, they were old.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Did they have a rip in them or what?
They were not. They looked perfectly fine. It's just that on the inside they were mittens, so on that, like when you look at it, they're fluffy and they felt warm and everything. But right from the time I started the climb around 7 a.m, I was telling my girls like, hey, my thumb isn't feeling good. And they're good advice. They were like, well, we just started climbing, so once we climb more, our body will generate heat and all, so that should work. And
press forward and
then we'd be exposed to more sun as the day progresses. So those 2 things would help you. And right. I was like, yeah, it makes sense. But around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, one of my teammates was also not feeling great, and I had this issue, so we decided it was safer for us to turn around.
So tell me about Kilimanjaro. I've